Okay, hi Countryside members. Today's Friday, September the 9th. I'm standing at the Phase 1 site, which is the tennis complex. I have great news. The site work is essentially complete for Phase 1, which means that the underwater stormwater management system's in. All of the underground utilities have been placed. So we are essentially ready now to begin final grading next week to prepare for parking lot installation and tennis court installation. In the meantime, work progresses on the 3 structures on this site over here, and this is a great opportunity to show you really quickly what we have so far. This first building is the storage facility. I don't know if you can get a good look here, but it's a great sized building for all of our tennis court equipment, tennis needs, storage cart, things like that. So it's a great sized building. We have concrete coming later today to fill and finish this building off. Next building we have right this way is the outdoor viewing pavilion. Truss work is scheduled to begin Tuesday of next week. So once we get the concrete finished and poured, trusses will begin to be poured, or trusses will begin to be installed next week. Again, you can see a great size viewing pavilion. This viewing pavilion will sort of bisect the tennis courts and the bocce ball area over here to my left. The last building that the men are working on currently right now is the restroom facility. Ladies to the right, men's entries to the left, and in the middle will be an ice machine area. There will be an overhang to protect from rain and whatnot, but again, those trusses will be installed first of next week. So Phase 1's moving along very, very well. Again, expect final grading to take up a lot of next week, and again, preparing the site for parking and tennis court installation. So let's head over to the Wellness Center and see what's happening over there. Okay, of course, now I'm at Phase 2, which is the Wellness Center. Before we go inside, I'll just point out that the exterior painters are here to prime and paint the exterior of the building. So that's begun today. Let's go ahead and walk inside and show you around. As we walk in, I'll just kind of point out that between last Friday and this Friday, a couple of exciting things have happened. Of course, one is a lot of work was done with the drywall and finishing out the drywalling. Come on in. And secondly, as we go into the men's and ladies' restrooms, I want to show you the saunas are being installed as well. So you can sort of see the completion now of the drywall. A couple of things I'll point out is the rough-in for a drop-down projector. The drop-down projection screen will be right here. And further back, once the ceiling grid's installed, we'll begin to see some of the technology for the actual video projector. But there's a lot of, again, I've commented before, there's a lot of technology going into this building between audio and video. There'll be this is another spot here where you can see the rough-in for the projection screen. And again, there'll be a projector that'll be mounted off the ceiling further back for presentations and meetings and things of that sort. So this is, of course, the card room, meeting room. This over here, of course, will be our smaller conference room. One last thing I'll point out is we do have the drop-down ceiling. You can see again a rough-in for that, the motors and pulley system for our drop-down wall that flush mounts into the ceiling. Let's walk through the ladies and men's restrooms real quickly, and before we move on here. Again, I'll point out in the men's room and ladies' room, primarily the saunas. We're going to take a look at the saunas and see what they look like. So come on in. Right now we're in the men's restroom. You can see again, quite a bit of progress has been made on the sauna over here. We were even commenting earlier, it even smells like a sauna now. So that gives you a good look at what's happening. Let's head over to the ladies' locker room. Ladies' locker room, ladies' restroom. Same thing over here. The sauna is, the woodwork is essentially nearly complete, but the flooring has to be, of course, installed again. Of course, the lighting is yet to come, and the sauna motor heater is yet to be installed as well. But we can see some progress here. We're just going to quickly go down the hallway, have a quick peek into the yoga Pilates room, and one last look at the cardio room before we head over to Phase 3. And we can see essentially most of the drywalling is complete. I'll point out that next week the plan is to begin priming and painting the interior of the building before we work on the ceiling grid, cabinetry, things like that. Again, you can see the yoga Pilates room. You can see again some of the ceiling patterns that we looked at last week, the rough in for the lighting, HVAC, things like that. And again, we've looked at this a couple of times, but again, you can see this is all drywalled in now. Receptionist area with a receptionist counter, cabinetry around us, and a small office over here. This office is going to hide a lot of the technology, rack system, things like that, and it'll also have some nice little space for an office as well. Let's take a quick peek into the cardio room before we head over to phase 3. This is the entry to the cardio room. There'll be some build-ins here as well. We have nice little entry space as we head into the wellness room there, the cardio room. Again, you can see where we are in terms of the drywall and the status of that. So again, prime paint next week, ceiling grids, cabinetry. Then we'll start thinking about things like flooring in the ladies and men's restrooms, and some of the finishing, getting the electric hooked up, getting the AC system going, things like that. This will all be in the next few weeks, but after the drywall's finished, things are going to kind of go crazy in here with a lot of activity. So let's head over to phase 3. I do have some promising news finally for phase 3, so let's go check it out. Okay, now I'm in phase 3. Phase 3 is the outdoor dining space and the portico. I have some good news finally. I keep telling us every week we're going to get footers poured, then it rains. We had 2 inches of rain here, 3 inches there. Completely washed the footers out several times. They were redug yesterday. Contractors are putting the final rebar back in as we speak, and the concrete truck is on its way to Countryside. So we should be pouring concrete back here this afternoon, barring any interference from Mother Nature. We don't need any rain right now, but we should be pouring concrete back here for footers today back here. So that's exciting news. And of course, the concrete truck will also be here for the footers at the front portico area, and we'll also be pouring concrete, of course, over in phase 1 that I mentioned earlier today. So once we get this going, it's been a 2 or 3 week delay back here with getting this started, but once we get the concrete poured, we'll be off and running. So really great news on that end. Again, keep an eye on our website certainly for updates. I hope you're getting our emails and our YouTube updates, that you're viewing those. Please feel free to email me with any questions or comments. I'll be happy to answer those. Be safe, be well, have a great weekend, and we'll talk next Friday.